I found a lot of people in Ottawa move here.
It's a lot of people who come for school or for some type of like contract or whatever, and they fall in love with the city.
I didn't have success my first 3 years, and I didn't like it as well. Are you an adventurous person in general?
I would say so. I'd say like I'm a risk taker.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you ever jumped out of a plane?
No. I wouldn't say our real estate here is cheap, but it's not as expensive as Toronto.
In Ottawa, it's starting to like catch up though a little bit. Like I've seen some pockets where it's like pretty expensive.
Yeah. So I know the era of those bands. So
right.
I assume you were younger than me.
We went and saw Wicked on Broadway. Life changing.
There was some thread that was like, what are the must-have dishes in Toronto? Like it was like a Reddit thread. Just one place kept coming up, like the pancake in Toronto, the pancake at this HK's Chinese or whatever. And legit, like every second or third response was this like pancake dish. So
did you try it? You haven't tried it?
No, next time I'm in Toronto, I have like a...
So you're an adventurous eater?
100%, yeah.
I am the most. I eat like a 6-year-old.
Really?
Chicken fingers, fries, grilled cheese,
so
pizza, pasta.
Do you like good grilled cheese? Good, like
of course.
Yeah, so, because you can elevate the shit out of grilled cheese.
I make a mean grilled cheese, and it starts with the Monterey Jack, I'll tell you that.
100%.
Okay? Yeah. I'm not using any Kraft singles, although Kraft singles melt fantastically.
It's not bad, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
so what's the craziest thing you've ever eaten? There's something you can eat where if it's prepared wrong, you can die.
Oh, like the puffer fish?
Yeah,
no, I would do that.
Okay.
Like, no, I'm not as stupid either. You know what? Like, I like good food. I like to try, if there's something that like I probably won't get to try again. Like I went to a restaurant in Montreal a few years ago and they had like stingray on the menu. And I was like, oh, I've never had stingray before. Like, let's try stingray, you know?
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. They all taste like chicken though. Everything just tastes like chicken, yeah.
My whole thing, I'm a bit of a hypochondriac.
Okay.
So I'm like, what if I'm allergic to stingray?
That's true, I guess.
Are you an adventurous person in general?
I would say so. Yeah. I'd say like I'm a risk taker.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you ever jumped out of a plane?
No. So, okay, here's the thing. I'm a coward. No. So I'm like deliberate, but also decisive at the same time, if it makes sense. So like for jumping out of a plane, like you think about it, like what's the risk reward just doesn't really add up. You know what I mean?
That's my whole life.
Yeah.
That's my whole life. Like even a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I could go on the roller coaster and survive, or go on the roller coaster and fly out of it and die?
I'm gonna think I'm gonna die the whole time, and I either will or I won't.
Like, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're adventurous. Have you been scuba diving?
No. So my brother.
So this guy's not adventurous at all.
Yeah. No.
I mean, those are the two most adventurous things.
Have
you ever been on a hike?
Avid scuba diver, though.
Okay.
My brother is like.
Well, you can't be adventurous through someone else.
That's right. Yeah. No. It's
yeah, but my brother, he swam with the sharks, man.
Jumps out of a plane into the ocean right away.
So he's scuba dived like all over the world?
Yeah, like it's like his passion. He actually legit has a scuba diving pool repair business. It's like just an excuse to be like underwater.
Scuba diving.
Yeah, so if you get a leak in your pool,
okay,
rather than having to drain the thing, which apparently costs a lot of money to drain it, fill it, he goes in with his like scuba gear. He's got like specialized equipment. He can identify the leak and put a patch on it, and it costs significantly less.
Damn.
And so so he's found a way to turn his passion into work.
Okay, so you're adventurous, but you haven't jumped out of a plane. You haven't been scuba diving.
I think I just like.
Have you been
food.
rock climbing?
I think I just like food. I think.
Okay, yeah. You've been on a hike?
I've been on a hike.
Okay.
Yeah, I've hiked.
That's more than me.
I've walked in the woods.
Yeah?
Yeah, I walked in the woods.
Have you seen a bear?
I have seen a bear. Yeah, from
Close?
From the car though. Yeah,
okay.
I think it was in the car.
Okay, so like you weren't in any danger.
I don't think so.
Do you like traveling?
I do.
Okay, what's your favorite place to go?
So I love New York City.
So do I. What do you love about it though?
I just love the energy. I love cities where like I say, like you don't need a plan, right?
Yeah.
So in New York, you step out, you just walk into any restaurant, any bar, anything, and it's going to be like a 10 out of 10.
I've been there 3 times this year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I love New York.
Yeah.
I love the shopping.
Yeah.
The first time was a business thing. I went in the morning, came back at night.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, it was a lot. But then the second time was my wife's first time going. Okay. We went and saw Wicked on Broadway. Life changing. Have you ever seen Wicked?
No, I haven't.
Selena, you know Wicked?
Sorry.
Mitch?
Is it a Snow White theme? Is it?
It's Wizard of Oz.
Oh, Wizard. Okay. Yeah.
But Defying Gravity. Have you heard the song Defying Gravity?
No.
Selena, Defying Gravity.
No.
Mitch knows it is a banger. And I listened to that in the car. That's about as adventurous as I get.
Wow.
Listening to Defying Gravity
Yeah.
on full volume in my car.
That's pretty adventurous.
Yeah, it's pretty, but it was life-changing. Dude, I had no expectation. I didn't know what it was.
Okay.
My wife wanted to go see it so bad. I was like, okay, let's go. We got last-minute tickets, amazing tickets. And there's like an intermission, and they sing Defying Gravity before the intermission. It's like the end of the first half, and it was like life-changing.
No way.
I was like goosebumps. I think I had some tears
No way.
coming down, and I just like was in awe.
Cool.
Dude, it was sick.
I'll have to check it out.
It was, you gotta check it out. Don't watch the movie that's coming out. Like, go see the Broadway play first,
yeah.
and then watch the movie. Because I think the
Okay.
movie, I don't know, the movie might be good, but yeah. New York is a place where I don't get adventurous with eating, but I'm more comfortable going into a place that I don't know.
Yeah.
Like an Italian spot or something.
It's just like there's so much competition in New York that
Yeah.
if you're bad, you just can't survive.
No,
right?
yeah,
like,
you'll be-
so
Where do you stay normally?
we just kind of wherever. Like
Yeah.
I like to try different like parts of the city. So last time we went, we stayed in the East Village,
Okay.
which was really cool. We stayed in the meatpacking district. We've stayed in Soho. So
Soho is my favorite place
yeah,
to stay.
yeah.
We do Soho Grand.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't
And
checked
we've
that
done the
one.
Roxy too, which is the sister company. I like Soho Grand more. There's a spot, Lucia of Soho, a
Okay.
pizza spot. My favorite pizza ever.
Nice.
Right
I'm gonna have to
across.
try that. That is like pizzas, and like I could eat pizza
Your favorite
and
food?
nothing but pizza for the rest of my life.
What's your
So,
background?
I'm French. I'm French Canadian.
Oh, damn.
So yeah,
You're born and raised Ottawa?
I am. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you know it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Front to back.
Yeah. Front to back.
you've been in the business-
East to west.
10 years?
I'm in my 10th year in real estate.
10th
yeah.
year. And you're born and raised. Like, that's a pretty easy. How do you not go with Serge?
That's what I keep saying.
A lot of these,
Yeah.
I found a lot of people in Ottawa move here.
Yeah, that's,
Like they-
that's my wife, right? Like it's
Yeah.
it's a lot of people who come for school or for some type of like contract or whatever, and
Yeah.
they fall in love with the city, or they they put down roots and
Yeah.
they stick around. A lot of transplants from Toronto and
A lot of
places like
Toronto,
that.
huh?
Yeah,
Alberta's starting to get like that too. A lot of Toronto and Alberta.
that's right. Well,
Yeah.
it's the cheap real estate, right?
Yeah.
Relative to Toronto. I
Relative
wouldn't say
to
our real
Toronto.
estate here is cheap, but it's not as expensive as Toronto.
In Ottawa, it's starting to like catch up though a little bit. Like I've seen some
Yeah.
pockets where it's like pretty expensive.
Yeah, you know it's funny, when I got into the business 10 years ago, that was kind of like all the senior agents, everybody would like always rave or rant about how undervalued Ottawa was.
Yeah.
Like capital city, it's got all
Yeah.
these services and it's so undervalued. And then we had kind of our pre-COVID, like our market started like really getting hot in
Yeah.
2018, 2019. That was kind of the talk, was like, oh, it's finally catching up to like where it should be.
Right.
You could buy a detached home in Ottawa, 15 minutes from downtown, with a 2-car garage, 4 bedrooms, like 50 by 100 lot for like $400K when I started in real estate.
Damn.
It was crazy.
Did you buy then?
No, I had a downtown 1-bedroom condo.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you probably
I
did
had
well on
something,
it.
but our condo market didn't really. Yeah,
It didn't really
was like,
pick up?
no, it wasn't the best.
Do you still have it?
No, I sold it. I kept it for a while. I lived in it for 5 years, and I kept it as a rental for
Yeah.
5 years, and then eventually just, I couldn't even like sell it. I was kind of breaking even at best.
Yeah.
For a long time, our condo market just kind of went in the tank for a while.
So did ours.
Yeah, ours is doing a little better than yours, but
Yeah.
back then it was just like they built too many of them too fast. You've heard that story before.
Yeah.
So
This was the first time in Ottawa that I really drove around more than like every time I come here, I'm like in Byward Market pretty much.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I'm at. But this time I drove around by accident. I mean, trying to find a Tim Hortons, went to the hospital.
Went to the
hospital. That's fine. But I went on, what was the street I went on?
Island Park.
Island Park.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Stunning architecture. I know like get into real estate for the love of architecture is a bunch of bullshit, but this is
Yeah.
nice architecture.
Yeah.
That's when they did shit
It's-
right.
It is. Island Park's beautiful. That's my neighborhood. I live right around that area.
Yeah.
And that's always what drew me, was like the nice homes, but also the big trees. It's like a mature neighborhood.
Sought after
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, I would compare it to kind of the Parkdale area a little bit
Okay.
in Toronto. So it's a little bit more kind of, it's not like in Toronto you have Yorkville, right? Where it's
Right.
it's very obvious that everyone in that area is super wealthy, and
Yeah.
they're just, and then Parkdale, I think it's still a very expensive neighborhood, but it's kind of like a little bit younger.
Quiet
it's a little
luxury.
bit more, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say that neighborhood, like Westboro, is that neighborhood. Is kind of like that,
Nice.
It's not really in your face. We have some other neighborhoods that are much more
Flashy?
much more flashy.
So like, do you have like a bridle path equivalent or like a,
Well, we have a neighborhood called Rockcliffe Park,
Okay.
which is where a lot of like foreign dignitaries and stuff live, right? Because Ottawa, obviously,
Yeah.
capital city. So that would be the equivalent, but I mean, like, you know, the most expensive house to sell in Rockcliffe Park in the last, 10 years, at least on MLS, is like 7 million. So it's not a bridal path.
Right.
You know?
Drake's on Bridal Path is 100 million.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah,
Drake,
no.
I'm still waiting for that consultation. I'll come whenever you want. Call me. Serge, you can help out on that one, right?
I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in, yeah.
I can only give you like 20%.
I'm 20% of 100 million?
Yeah, I'm charging
good.
them the full
You're
5%.
100, yeah,
and
of
we'll
course.
double end it.
Well, of course.
So that's
of
like,
course, yeah.
I'm not great at math, but I think that's
good.
That's
yeah.
decent.
I think I'm in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mitch, you want in? Selena?
Selena?
All right, you
Okay.
guys, well, I gave 20 to Mitch, so you guys are gonna have to split 5.
Yeah.
Is that cool? Okay. Okay, sounds good. Okay, well, like, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Before we get more into real estate, I wanna know, because I have a place I don't like, a city I don't like traveling to. Worst place you've ever traveled to that you just like, it's not like a bad place, it's just not for you at all.
Oh, man.
New York was your favorite.
Oh, that's a good question.
I got mine locked and loaded. It's a controversial one because everyone's like, you're crazy.
You know what? Actually, this might be a little controversial too, but it was a while ago, but I went to Geneva, Switzerland, and I thought it was just like so overrated.
Wow.
So Ottawa is a government town,
Yeah.
right? And so it kind of felt like a nicer Ottawa. It's like very government town again. Everything was like insanely expensive. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's clean. It's beautiful, but everything was so expensive, and I don't know. If you're really into politics, yeah.
No, but watches, they do all the
Yeah, that's fair.
watchmaking.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't afford a Timex back then, So
Yeah.
I think that's part of the issue.
Well, go back
too,
now.
Like, yeah, maybe now I'd be like, I can have a hamburger now and
Yeah.
not have to take out a loan. So.
Yeah. Mine is Miami.
Oh, I've heard a few people say
Can't
that.
stand
yeah,
Miami.
yeah.
Oh my God, it's just so much. It's so extra. It's so big. And again, beautiful to look at, but just like there's more Rolls Royces than Honda Civics. Like
Right,
it is just wild.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I like Orlando.
Yeah.
Harry Potter World, sign me up.
But you're not a flashy guy, right?
No,
Like,
I'm not a flashy guy.
Neither am I.
Yeah.
I don't like that like in your face where you feel like I don't know, you always have to compete or you always have
Yeah.
to kind of like,
I love nice things. I
Yeah.
buy nice things, mostly like clothes and watches and stuff, but like all my clothes are unbranded. And I just
Yeah.
like having them, like the quality of them. And it's
Yeah.
just like a fashion thing, how I look. I don't care how people perceive it.
That's right.
If they think, because I'm really on that line of like, this guy could be like, that outfit could be $5,000 or he could
That's
be
right.
homeless.
That's right. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I pretty much, I'm on that line a lot.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know,
I
just
appreciate
depends.
quality too, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Like the T-shirt with the the designer logo that costs
It's
$200.
too much.
That's like that's not for me.
It's
right?
too, unless it's this.
This I would pay $200 for
Yeah.
at least.
I did.
Minimum. Did you? Oh,
Yeah, you
really?
got them
Thank
for free.
you.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to e-transfer me after this.
you know
all
what?
of
I'll pay you from my share of the Drake
Oh, okay.
sale. Yeah.
That might not close for a while. Damn, I thought he was gonna move after the Kendrick drama.
The
but
whole yeah.
he's staying.
Well, the people shot at that house, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
not
that's-
good.
That's messed up.
I know. Like, who's gonna shoot at Drake's house? Unless you're Selena's partner shooting a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, well there you go.
Yeah, like that's wild. Okay, so you've been in 10 years.
Yeah.
I've been in 8 years. I had really rocky first 3 years.
Yeah.
How'd it go for you?
So it was kind of like good and bad, I would say. So I joined a team right off the bat.
Okay.
And I'm a firm believer that I think most new agents should start off on a team. I think a lot of agents should just be on teams.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I knew that I wanted to join a team. I wanted to get experience. So like my first year, I did 32 deals, right?
Damn.
So I had like a good first year, but I still I came from a government job that was just like like federal government. It was mind-numbingly boring,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like, 6-figure salary, benefits, pension, the whole thing. And I was kind of looking at it like, man, I worked like 2 or 3 times more hours. And after expenses and stuff, I didn't make more money than I made.
In real estate?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was kind of like, so, and again, back then, like most
with
of
your
my deals in
volume.
Ottawa were like, they were like 200K, they were starter homes. And back then you could get like a condo for 175K. So there's a lot of like really small deals.
So 32 deals was what? Maybe 10 to 15 million in volume?
No,
Not even?
No,
Wow.
not even. It was probably closer to, well, it might have been that like 10-ish
Okay.
million in volume.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been 8 to 10 in volume. So my first year was good. You work a lot. Second year was terrible. Like my second year, I was ready to get out of the business.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
It's almost like the band who comes with the awesome first album and then their follow-up is just like it never.
That's it.
I hear that a lot in real estate too.
So the crazy thing that happened to me in my second year, I got connected with these big shots out of Toronto, like massive property owners.
Me?
Like, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
And you were a tour musician back then. You didn't have any money. I couldn't help you. So I came into real estate. I had like some debt, and I'd made some, dumb decisions in my younger. So it was kind of like I was broke, like just broke.
Yeah.
Most of us are when we come into the business,
Yeah.
right? And so I got connected through, got this client in Ottawa and got connected to his uncle who was connected to some like really big shots in Toronto. And long story short, they end up coming, he kind of says, hey, if you find any like large multi-unit properties or portfolios, let us know. And there happened to be this massive portfolio that was listed in Ottawa. It was in the papers. This guy was like the biggest slumlord in Ottawa. His units like were subsidized, they didn't have heat, whatever. So eventually he was forced to sell. So I called the guy up, not really realizing, who he was or who the people he was working with were, and said, look, there's this portfolio, it's like 300 units, it's like $40 million. And they put an offer on it through me.
Yeah.
So I had a conditional sale for $40 million. The commission would have been $800K. So I was like, I'm good. Like I'm out of debt. I'm good. Like this is, and so I spent the first 6 months, of that year, like literally I'm only working on this. I gotta get this to go in. And so I was getting like people, literally reaching out and wanting to go see a house, and I could refer it out because I'm waiting on a call from these people from Toronto. I have to be available.
And you could have bought like a beautiful house outright at that time with that commission.
100%. Yeah. I could have bought on Island Park.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like literally.
Yeah.
So it was going to be life changing, and of course, like it just completely fell apart. I was so dejected. Like first 6 months of the year, and now I've got nothing to show for it, and then the rest of that year, like I just had a couple of these difficult clients, and and
that's a hard one to climb back from.
Yeah.
Like after you're just like, as much as people tell you not to, you calculate those commissions.
100%.
And you're
100%.
spending it in your head. And
I've learned not to do that. Like I'm better now, but as a young agent, like every time you have a conditional sale fall through, it's devastating, right? So much less a $40 million.
Dude, that's wild. I've never heard.
Yeah.
Year two. That's a great story.
Yeah. Well, I remember like there's still a few agents that were the listing agents on some of those portfolio properties who were like, every now and then I'll run across them, like they're like, how did you ever get connected to those? Like we can't get meetings with those people. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like
it's because I was saying this to Steph, like you don't know what you don't know. And when you don't have overhead and you don't have that brand, you don't have that business, you take risks that other people wouldn't take.
Yeah.
So you're calling some person who's like the end all be all at the biggest client ever that everyone's scared to talk to, can't get a hold of, but you're just like, they're just another person. That's how I've tried to run still. Like there's a lot of agents that, they do incredible things, and I've met a lot of like awesome kind of celebrity agents, but like if you treat them as such, it's like you like psych yourself out.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's, if you don't have that, it's you can like really go, like you got your foot in the door. Even just getting your foot in the door was a win.
Exactly.
And at the time, it's not at all. It's like the worst thing ever because it didn't come through. But you getting your foot in the door is like, that's enough to keep going.
That's right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I learned to obviously you learned at the moment it was like the worst thing that ever happened, but you learn to take the positives from it, right? Mm-hmm. And like you said, you got your foot in the door, you had a meeting, you got pretty far down the path of a pretty major deal. You learn things from that, right?
So what was your breakout then? I mean, 32 deals is amazing first year, but would you consider that kind of right off the bat you were good to go? Because then you kind of sank.
Yeah, the first 3 years I was on a team, and I said I think it's a good idea to start off on a team, but I can also say that I was definitely on the wrong team. Right, like I just did not jive at all with the team leads, their way of doing it. There was very old school. There was like the take out your phone, call all of the people you went to high school with that you haven't talked to in 15 years, tell them you're in real estate, and I was like, this isn't what I want to do.
It was even 8 years ago, one size fits all. How do you be successful? You door knock, you cold call, you do open houses,
right?
That's it.
Yeah, you just have to be relentless.
Yeah.
So for me, I would say my breakout, so by year 3, I did decent success. Like my third year was a good year, like financially, but I didn't like the business.
Right.
And so I left this team, and before getting into real estate, I'd always wanted to go to law school. And so
Hard
I kind of
respecter
made,
Yeah.
thank you. So I made a decision that I was going to apply for law school and go to law school. And it would have been like a year later, right? Because the application process takes a while.
Yep.
And so I kind of told myself I got 1 year left of real estate, or one last year, like to really try to make this real estate thing work and like it, you know? And so like, I'm not gonna do all the stuff that I was told to do, the door knocking, all that. I'm just gonna try to do it my way, find a way to make it fun and see if it works, you know? And if it doesn't, I'll just go to law school. Yeah. And so I just kind of was like, I don't wanna do the door knocking. I don't wanna do the cold calling. I don't wanna do any of that stuff. So I kind of landed on, you know, social media. And then just like, how do you get referrals, right? You just provide great service. So I really focus on elevating everything that I was doing for my clients and developing that social media presence. And I ended up having the best year of my career by far. You know, I did awesome volume. I made more money than I ever thought I'd make. And I loved it. Like I had fun, you know. It was
and
the
that's
first
half the
year
battle.
I had fun doing it. I was like, this business is actually great, you know. So that was the breakout for me, and it's just kind of been building on that ever since.
I didn't have success my first 3 years, and I didn't like it as well. And very similar story to you. It was like, but me was like a couple weeks. I was like, listen, I have no money. This is just not working. Maybe it's not meant for me. And then I had these comedy style ideas. Since I got into the business, everyone told me not to do them. And I started doing them. And I would like my biggest year, which is, you know, it's fine. Like, I think the most I'd ever made in real estate in 1 year was about 38,000, maybe 40,000. So it was, you know, it was a struggle. I still lived at home, so it was like fine enough, but then you get taxed. You're down to 18 grand or something. So like, it's like nothing. But which is, you know, it's not about the income, but it wasn't where I wanted to be or knew I could be. And I started doing these videos, and everyone told me not to do them at first. And it was just like crazy, you're ruining this business, and you're giving realtors a bad name, all that shit. And I did it for a listing that I had come out. I did it, that listing sold in like 5 hours with like 3 offers, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I started just like doing more and more and more. And then I posted a video where I dressed up like Freddie Mercury, and I walked around the house. And
I've seen that video, yeah.
So that was like my breakout video. That is the video that got like Ryan Serhant's attention. And then a couple months after that, I went from doing, you know, 38,000 was my best year. From that video, I did a $2.3 million sale. And then I double-ended a $900,000 listing. And they closed in the same month. So it just, at the latter half or the middle of that year, all of a sudden, $100,000 hit my bank account.
That's wild. When that happens, like that first big.
And it was just like, I'm rich. Like I couldn't even, $100,000, I think for a lot of people is your first goal.
That's
like,
100%.
you know, which is great. Like, I don't want to make it like it's not, like it's amazing money to make $100,000, but the fact that it just like came in all at once from like what everyone told me not to do. And I was just like, I was so proud, and I think the proudest that I am about all this is I did it on my terms.
That's
and
right.
The same as you.
That's
like,
it. Yeah.
Because you gotta like it. You gotta love it.
Yeah. And I was like, that's the thing. I used to get asked like, what do you do for prospecting? And I was just, I don't prospect. You know, and everybody, I used to get told, I was at an old school brokerage, and it's not going to last. You're on a wave. It's like a hot streak, but it's not going to last if you don't make your calls, if you don't knock your doors, do your open houses. It's not going to last. And like the thing that struck me the most from that brokerage is my first few years in real estate, I met so many former agents that were successful agents. Like when they were in the business, like I remember meeting guys that did like 50, 60 deals, at their peaks. And they all left the business because they hated it. And I remember thinking like, well, so you're either starving or even if you're doing well, you're just miserable. Like what's the point of this business? It's just gonna suck all the time, And so I didn't want to be one of those agents that just even if you have success, you just burn out after 2 or 3 years and find something else.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like success is more than a number, and it's like it's so much. Like to me, like I've always said, I'll do less deals to spend more time with like my wife.
Of course.
And do what we want to do. And like the way I look at everything now, and I think a lot of it is mindset, but I just feel like I've already won. I have an amazing wife and life and house and all this stuff. Like this is all bonus.
That's right.
This is extra. This is fun.
Yeah.
You know, and we get paid for having fun, which
That's
is
right.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
like
yeah.
when you kind of switch your mindset like that, like this is just bonus. Like, you know, we're gonna go home to
That's right.
a roof over our head.
A great
and-
life.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It is a lot about mindset.
Well, you know, there's like a lot of people don't love or even like what they do for a living too, right? So we're lucky. Like anyone who can find enjoyment, and it's like this business can be super stressful.
Oh
It can
my
like
God.
there's
I
weeks
have so
where
much
you're
gray
like
hair.
just like
You look incredible. For 10 years in the business, I couldn't believe when you told me how old you were. Everyone says I look older. I'm beginning to think everyone looks my age who's older. And then if they're younger, they look younger. I don't know what the hell Benjamin Button bullshit's happened to me, but something's happening. But I think it's the reverse. I think I'm getting older. He gets younger, right? I'm getting older. Yeah. I don't know what's going on, dude.
My theory on that honestly is I think people always like if you ask someone like how old do you think I am, like when you get along with someone, you always kind of assume they're around your age, right? Like you know what I mean? So you meet like you start hanging out, you know, you start talking to some 24-year-old and you're on the same page, you have a lot of the same interests and stuff, you're gonna think they're kind of your age and they're gonna think you're their age, you know what I mean? And it's the same thing if you're jiving with a 45-year-old.
I need you to be completely honest. How old do you think I was?
I thought you were in your 30s.
Okay.
I would have given you like 35, mid 30s kind of.
All right,
So, I'm
so
like,
still
I'm
older,
in the
but not
ballpark.
horrible. Mitch, how old do you think I was when you met me?
Like a even 30.
That's very kind. What'd you think? You need to be, listen.
I haven't thought about it. 34. That's the number that comes to mind.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I know what kind of music you like, right?
Yeah.
So I know the era of those bands. So
Right.
I assumed you were younger than me.
Yeah. Is your brother older or younger?
So I'm the oldest of 3.
Oldest of 3.
Yeah.
Brothers? 3 brothers?
That's right, 3 boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
You,
Well,
like 3 and 2 others. Sorry, 1, you and 2 others.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 and 2. No. Yeah, okay. So you're the oldest.
yeah, I'm the oldest.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're each like we're a year and a half apart each
Okay,
kind
cool.
of thing. So we're all, you know, fairly close in
Nice.
age.
I have one brother. He's 4 years older,
Okay.
but I'm taller. Most people say more handsome.
Okay, nice.
So
Yeah.
I win.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So my brother's gonna be pissed if they see this, but both of my brothers
You're
are
the
bald.
most handsome.
They're
Oh.
both bald, and so everybody thinks I'm the youngest. Anytime we go,
Yeah.
you know, so everybody assumes I'm the younger brother.
And you're the
they're
best
older,
looking
and
one,
it
too?
pisses them
Damn.
off so much. Yeah.
I don't think being the oldest. Sometimes the oldest isn't the best looking. My brother is a very good looking guy. I'm just taller.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's half
Your
the battle.
brother's taller?
No, I'm the
Shorter?
tallest.
You've really got it all, huh? You got the hair, the height. Damn.
They've got. You know what? I cannot hang a picture to save. I can't fix
Neither can I.
anything.
Yeah, it's
my
like me.
brothers are like so like one of them is a plumber, one of them fixes pools and scuba gear. Like so they're like super handy.
Yeah.
I can't do anything.
I can't do
so they
anything.
got those skills. I do.
Yeah.
Not.
Took me a half a day to hang some pictures one time.
I get frustrated. It's always
So do
crooked.
I.
I'm just like,
My wife builds all the furniture.
yeah, me too.
Yeah?
Yeah. I
Finally,
hate IKEA.
dude, I've never met
Yeah,
anyone else
yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she'll go out. I'll be completely honest with you. If I see a big spider in the room, I'll act like I don't see it and then call Nikki up and be like, and then when she's in there, I'll be like, holy shit, what?
What?
Oh, do you see that right there?
wow.
And then she'll not kill it because she's very kind. She'll get it on a little roll and bring it
Wow.
outside. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So my wife is deathly afraid of spiders. So
Okay.
that's my duty in our household. But-
Nikki will pick up worms
No way.
on the sidewalk if she thinks it's going to get injured.
oh my God.
Yeah, very
Wow.
nice.
That's
person.
such a. school
But then she's
teacher.
also a maniac. Like she's got it all. She's got it all. Mitch has met her. Mitch has met the nice side.
the nice
But
side.
she'll,
Yeah.
she's got some jokes too. She's
Yeah.
she's funny. She's like a stand-up comedian
That's
pretty
cool.
much. But she's
Oh,
shy.
she's a teacher, right?
She's a teacher.
You have to be. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be quick when you're
Yeah.
a teacher.
Teacher.
You did tell me that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to teachers college, the whole thing. Like I graduated, I was ready to go into the workforce, and then I ended up landing like a government, contract, and just kind of went that direction. But
Nice.
teachers, both my parents are teachers, so
Oh, awesome.
I think those like.
So you get it.
They're like the most underappreciated
100%.
people on the planet. Like
100%.
teachers, nurses, you
Yeah.
know, people like that.
Realtors. No.
Right. Yeah,
Let's cut that.
Yeah.
People already hate us enough. Yeah, I agree though. Teachers really, and I had a lot of bad teachers growing up,
Yeah.
especially in high school. I got kicked out of high school.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So I got brought into the principal's office one morning. Said, Matt Lionetti, come down to the office. Brought me in, closed the door. She said, Matt, high school's not meant for people like you. For that reason, you don't go to this high school anymore. I was like, okay.
That's
what?
That would never
Messed with-
happen today.
Never
Like, I
happened
would
today.
just be like,
But it messed with me for so long, I think subconsciously. Like it's always in the back of my mind. Like, and I felt like sometimes I would quit things early and just feel like, oh well, it's not meant for me. Like I
Yeah.
can't do it.
yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so it f***ed with me for a long time. But then I got like super competitive about it. I'm like, no. And when I was thinking about getting out of real estate, I thought back to those people. And I was like, if I get out, they win.
That's right. Yeah.
And I can't. I'm
It'd be
very,
like-
very competitive.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, so
I'm the
I couldn't
same
let
way.
them win.
Yeah.
But okay, so you 10 years, made the move to real.
Made the move,
You're
yeah.
here.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
we've been talking back and forth about it for a bit.
That's right.
I knew like I was stoked when, we've known each other for a while and I've seen
Right.
your content and stuff like that, and I knew you'd be a perfect fit. But how's it been so far?
It's been awesome. Like, so I've always done things kind of on my own, right? I've never really leaned on the brokerage much for
Yeah.
support. And so I assumed coming over to like a virtual brokerage that it would be that, I'm going to lose whatever support I had, but it's fine. I'm doing stuff on my own. And I've been like blown away by just the level of support, the responsiveness of everybody, just how the technology is amazing.
Yeah,
like,
it really is.
I came from two big brokerages before that, like, where you're paying like high splits and the technology was always garbage. Like nothing worked. You had 20 different systems,
Yeah.
and like so coming over to Real was like.
Isn't the app wild?
It's insane.
Everything from the
It's
app.
insane.
Like it's so
just,
good.
It's like an Apple product.
Yeah.
Like it's just so clean. It's just so like I knew I was making the right move. I was super excited about it. I was excited about building something, right? Which is
Yeah.
what we're doing here. But
Yeah.
just also knowing that the support and the tech is there too, like it's nuts. Yeah.
And it really is like, we were talking about this too, like it really is here, what we're gonna be growing, a quality thing.
Yeah.
Even though I know there's like the stigma of like, oh, recruiting, blah,
That's
blah,
right.
but we wanna bring on the right people.
Yeah.
And we want
Yeah.
quality over quantity, and I think people will see that very quickly.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I was already sold. I told you I was coming on, but one of the things that really impressed me, one of the conversations we had is I had asked you that, right? Remember, like, what happens if someone wants to join, right? And they're just, you don't feel like they're like the right fit,
Yeah.
right? Like they've got a big ego or whatever. They're not like a team player. And then you told me a story about, how you'd had a pretty large team that was wanting to join under you, right? And
Yeah.
then you found out some things about some of the people on that team that were, they didn't align with your values, and you just kind of said no. And
Yeah.
okay, this guy gets it, right? Like,
Yeah, because we have an opportunity. I mean, Real gives you a platform to build something special for the agents in your community, and you can
Yeah.
build that community out, and the agents are, directly involved and partnered in that. Every single person that's here already is a direct partner.
Yeah.
And everything that we all do has an impact moving forward.
That's it, yeah.
So like, that's what we were talking about, like with all the agents off camera, like, let's do this more. Let's do this every
Yeah.
couple of months. Let's start podcasts. Let's get the content going, because especially right now, like everyone is going to play such a huge part into growing this into something special and what we want it to be in Ottawa.
that's right. Yeah, like a lot of the best people I know I met through real estate, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of other agents. So it's the ability to like try to bring all those people together. There's more flexibility,
Yeah.
right? Like if you know a great agent, well, like you and I, like Ottawa, Toronto. If we were working at a traditional brokerage, for us to partner or work together wouldn't really necessarily make sense, right? But at a model like Real, it does, right?
Yeah.
And so, and being able to kind of bring people on that you want to work with, and it doesn't have to necessarily be on your team. Doesn't have to be splits being
Yeah.
paid. You know what I mean? It's just you have that total flexibility to really kind of build it the way you want to build it.
100%. And I mean, flexibility is like so key, because like you said, people they're just going to have so many more options when they do look at the model as a whole and see, like, if they are a team, there's great options here. Like some brokerages, a team doesn't make sense.
That's right.
Because the splits are too high, and that
That's
just
right.
is what it is. I mean, and that's fine. Those brokerages are great, and they're good for particular agents, but like there's options for everyone here
That's
to
it.
do what they want to do and grow something
Yeah.
the way they want to grow it.
Yeah, I was starting to run into that with Angelo, right? Like he's building his business.
Yeah.
He's ready to, and he deserves like lower splits on especially the deals that he's bringing in. But you're looking at the old model where we were. It's like, man, like by the time the brokerage takes, like there's not a ton left,
It's a
right?
lot.
So it lets you be a lot more flexible in the way you build. So
And even with the low cap too, now you can give your team agents a cap,
that's right. Yeah.
which it's game changing.
Yeah.
Like to people who come from a traditional that doesn't have a cap,
That's it.
or even a cap that doesn't cap at 100%.
Yes.
Like it's significant. Like
It is.
even an extra 5 or 10% is significant.
It's huge. And then when you're building a team, like new agents told your story, everybody's kind of said the same. You're not making money at first, so every dollar matters,
Yeah.
right? It's easy for an agent who's doing huge volume to kind of, it's an extra, whatever, 10K in the splits, I don't know.
Right.
But for a newer agent or someone who's just kind of building their business, that matters, right?
It's
Like,
huge.
It's massive.
It's huge. Yeah, absolutely. Well, dude, I'm stoked to be partnered with you. Like,
Same.
I think we're gonna
Super
grow
excited.
something like wild with everyone. Like I was saying, again, pretty much everyone who's been up here, like just meeting everyone and like the vibe was just like instant connection with
Yeah.
everyone. It's just like such a good vibe.
Everybody's great.
And
yeah.
it's like, we're gonna protect that. We're gonna,
100%,
you know, and,
yeah.
and keep that no matter how big it does grow or small it grows, it will grow, and it's going to have like a certain amount of camaraderie and just like
Yeah.
great vibes.
That's
We
it.
can promise you that.
It's going to attract the right people.
Yeah.
And it's going to be great.
Badass.
Yeah, man.
Sweet.
Psyched.